Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is The Press. We're reaching you live from KAFTAN's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. Now we'll go straight to analyzing the stories that we read out to you earlier. Our guest on the show today is Obadiah Mbila, CEO, Love Walk Media. It is great to have you on the show again today, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the program.
Good morning.
All right, good morning to you also. So our time is fast spent, but then let's see how we can manage our time. Next 20 minutes we have Daily Sun screams panic in CBN as probe expand, and the writer says investigators beam searchlight on top staff's firms and cronies. Anxiety as Uncle Borrowers loan recovery deadline elapses. Emefiele resigned in August. That's coming from a particular source, and then no one actually knew about this until when this the legal practitioner started complaining that he should have resigned before having a new CBN governor come to office. So the Guardian newspaper also says CBN's top officials are tightrope as special investigations peak. Same story you'll find on Vanguard newspaper. 1.1 trillion naira Uncle Borrowers fund, bank chief risk arrest. And then I saw a particular one, I can't remember which one I saw, saying that the Uncle Borrowers, those are the beneficiaries, are complaining. And I'm wondering, is it a national cake? Nobody wants to pay the loan again. What are your thoughts in this regards?
You know, so much abnormally that took place during the reign of the embattled central bank governor, Emefiele. So many things went wrong. They left to focus on the mandate of CBN to do things that even not unprofessional people may not be able to go to the length Governor of Central Bank Emefiele went. So, but at the same time, you see that so much fraud and inappropriate practice went on unquestioned. And the sitting president now was one that insinuated that the Naira redesign was done at the time it was done so that it can undermine his presidential campaign. Don't also forget that even the CBN governor has no business to come to the political arena in the first place. That is a serious indication that he has lost focus. The Apex Bank, their primary mandate is to build on our external reserve. Other things comes next, but they left the primary mandate, to focus on how to serve pecuniary interest, including the Uncle Borrower scheme, which was conducted in the most inappropriate, non-transparent manner up to today. So I'm not surprised that the president is focusing on CBN to sanitize, if that's his real intention. But I'm also afraid that the usual practice of the new administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, like one who thinks, who takes action before he thinks, the idea of replacing Emefiele is long overdue. By the time he became embattled, we knew that this is going to come up. So why not wait until the whole process has been concluded before appointing a new? Are you in a haste? Going to where? So that is it.
Let's quickly take this call before we go ahead. Hello, good morning. Fine, thank you, Elder Zion. Good morning.
Oh, Elder Zion.
Very well, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. We thank God for the safe journey of our president to America.
Exactly.
We wish him safe journey back home.
Amen.
And that one thing remains concerned to all of us, or to some people. You see, President Buhari he visited almost every part of the world attending this type of meeting. The G20, the G7, the national, the one that Tinubu is attending now.
Yeah, the General Summit. General Summit. General Summit.
We didn't see anything positively happened or gained or earned in all those travels. Then the money, taxpayers' money, used in generating all this part of the world became in vain, became useless. We didn't have profit. Now, just last week, President Tinubu returned from India, where he attended the G20 summit. Many promises were made by some investors. But I wonder why our leaders, they like to deceive us. They don't tell us the truth. You are inviting people to come and invest in your country. And you know that there are much infrastructural decay in that country. Where is electricity? That is energy. Where is security? Look at corruption everywhere. Where is the good road? All these things are things that support investment.
All right.
How can a man who labored to get money come and invest it in a place that there is no security? There is no light, no energy. It cannot be possible.
All right.
I think they're supposed to have fixed some of these things down, fix it, resolve it. Then before inviting people to come and invest in it.
All right.
Having said that, please, I want to talk about what we can. Yes, some retail is in Abuja. You see, if you look at what retail is doing in Abuja, it appears as if the government of the commission to go out to organize and weaken them or punish them for not have voted for APC.
All right.
Because today,
thank you so much.
They're going to destroy the second places. Please,
right.
one second. They're going to destroy some places, some market in Garki. And who are those who are occupying that place? I'm telling you that there is nothing, nobody is having anything in Abuja without the government of that city giving them permission. So we're supposed to see reason. The Igbos did not offend him in any way. He should declare suffering.
All right.
God bless Nigeria. God bless all of you there. Thank you. And remember, come on.
All right. Thank you so
You
much,
too.
Zion. God bless you too for your contribution. All right. So, still on. Okay, were you going to, or we just move to other stories?
Yes, I just want to. You made mention of something just before we move onto other stories. You talked about the fact that President Tinubu has a penchant for taking decisions before he thinks, and that rang a bell. You may want to shed some more light.
Well, that's very, very glaring in the the recent appointment of the central bank governor. There's nothing like shedding light about it, and when you look back, I think we will find situations like that, glimpses here and there. It's not that one is actually indicting the administration. Rather, I think being in a haste to take certain action should not be encouraged in leadership. You know, it's like what Elder Zion was alluding to. It is not enough to travel, shuttle the entire globe when you're supposed to sit down and tinker how to extricate the country from the decay in all area, infrastructural facility, social moral fabrics collapse, and so on and so forth. So there is so much to do inwardly. There is so much to do to rectify the structure of the country before you begin to shuttle around the globe. But having said that, one must also admit the fact that Nigeria is not a pariah state where global leaders will gather and they will be absent. But let us be also mindful of the fact that this global gathering has become mere ceremonial thing that than a forum.
As a global picnic.
It's picnic than a forum that constructively look at the challenges that is facing the nations that are participants in that forum.
All right.
So, for me, I think this need for reconstruction.
Okay, so I also hear you say that the president is, if what he's trying to do with Emefiele's case is actually investigate and then punish offenders. So in that regard, do you actually see this also happening to other organizations, other departments, other ministries? You talk about the NNPC, you talk about, after all, EFCC has gone down. Let's talk about NNPC, let's talk about NDLEA, some other organizations.
You know, politics is a very dangerous game that when they play it, especially when one is sitting on that powerful seat of the commander-in-chief, he recognizes the agencies, the institutions that needs to be punished and the ones that need to be preserved. So it is the exclusive preserve or judgment of the president that indicates where we are going to. And it is also unfortunate that we, the governed, have failed to realize that we can keep the one that is governing us on his toes to say, this is the way you should go. Okay, you've done well in this area of CBN, but we also need to look at what is happening in NNPC, especially since it's unbundling. You know, what have happened? Did it take the proper and the legal way of getting things done? Or did they subvert the law so that they can gain certain things, you know? But I don't seem to see the current president looking towards that area, because...
So you have the chairman of IPAC says, that's engineer Yabagi, say that he's just cherry picking. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
So talking about we, the masses, the citizens,
yes,
putting the government in check, looking at how successive governments have shown utter disregard for the rule of law, talking about disobeying court orders and blatantly flouting some sections of the Nigerian
Constitution.
Nigerian Constitution. So what do you think can be done at this point now to ensure that when the people speak, the government reacts?
Now, you know, I've said the people, the governed, the ruled, the electorate have their own constitutional role, have their own social responsibility to challenge the system. Now, the question is, do they really know this? I think they do, but sometimes we become polarized by certain forces, religion, tribe, etc. and etc. When the people want to speak in one voice, the politicians knows how to divide them, to remind them what you are doing is against Igbo man, it's against Yoruba man, it's against Hausa man.
Or the Muslim or Christian.
Or Muslim or Christians, as it were. Now, this is a very, very serious problem that makes the people not to speak in one voice, even when they have cherished the beauty of democracy by speaking in one voice. Once they begin to consider all these forces that divide instead of unite, you see them recapitulating. And then, of course, let's also say this. What happened during the last election was the power of the people. Whether it was actually actualized or not, the people came from third force to say it's no longer business as usual. Now, the politicians did not expect that third force. So we must also replicate that. Now that the government is sitting, let us tell the president, the governors, all of them, that look, it is no longer the way you want it. It is, you should also consider the way we want it to go.
All right, so our time is fast spent, but let's see how we can manage and take some other stories. Vanguard newspaper, I'm going to ask you 2 questions and I'd like you to just put them together in one breath. Vanguard newspaper says outrage as RAMFAC, that's Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission, defends jumbo pay of National Assembly members and others. And then some other person has come out to say that it is insensitive, is unjustifiable, is unacceptable, is disheartening. That's coming from NLC and NECA. And then some other person have what they said, so many things about it. But then let's get your thoughts in that regard. Like I was saying before, that I had a conversation with the commissioner of RAMFAC, and then he was justifying why even the president earns lower than NCC, than some members of some workers in NCC, or so the president even earns lower than some people working in CBN. And then that he was trying to justify all of that. But let's get your thoughts in that regard. And that's one on the side. And then I think it's another paper that's from the Nigerian Tribune, says that's one. Then the next question I'd like you to put together says August inflation rate, companies may resort to downsizing, LCC warns us, and wants government to remove tax on food items and urges CBN to pause inflation rate hikes. Let's have you put this together.
Yeah, the first issue is bordering on, sorry, remind me?
On pay.
On
jumbo salaries
for
President and
for
National
government
Assembly
officials.
workers.
It is the statutory responsibility of Revenue Mobilization and the Fiscal Commission to allocate, and to that extent, I may not be in a very good position to know the parameter they use in that judgment. I don't understand why a worker in CBN should earn higher salary than the president. But if I should hazard a guess, I recognize the fact that there are so many benefits that is built around those elected people from
that's outside this 1.5 million and
salary,
less than 1 million. RAMFAC is saying
the salary is different from
severance and benefits.
The benefits, not really. The severance comes last, but before the severance, they may not tell you the other benefits that they enjoy. For instance, they still enjoy duty allowances. They still enjoy so much accommodation, and then during oversight function of the National Assembly, they have provisions that take them around, and then of course which left them with some leftovers.
Most of the oversights which they never even
I don't go on the way of enacting by people at the National Assembly. You know, part of them have always defended their jumbo pay, because as a matter of fact, the legislators do not give contracts. Forget about the abnormalities that we have condoned for a very long time. It is not their duty. They should make law, and to that extent, those politicians that help them win election, who depends on them, still expect them, whether they are lawmakers or not, to foot the certain responsibilities.
Oh, that's exactly the argument that he made. That's the commission.
Well, I am.
So are you also agreeing to that?
I'm not just
at the expense of taxpayers.
No. Listen, every job is not the same. The person that is working from an office in the civil service has nothing to do with the crowd that comes to vote at election. And wherever you go around the world, there are some benefits that is attached to your political participation. And who pays the bill? The man that you voted for. So if you really have been involved, and I have been involved, I've been a senior legislative aide, I've been a political participant, and I know that as a sitting legislator, people come from your constituencies and outside your constituencies, putting pressure on you, putting pressure on daily basis. It is quite unbelievable.
And that's exactly the excuse that he gave especially when I asked the civil servant that stays there for when he's till he's 60 or that stays there for over 30 years gains lesser than the
legislator that just spends
and then he
4 years or 4 years.
When I want to appear rude, I would ask the civil servant to resign immediately and contest election.
So,
all right. So we're talking about the next story that's on Nigerian Tribune, saying that companies may result to downsize.
Yes, quite sad news. When I read about that, I'd rather say it's expected. If you have seen the way our economy is nosediving, and you thought that those entrepreneurs who employed 50, 100, and 200 staff will keep their staff strength, you may not be right in your expectation.
So are you saying that some companies who are still going to keep their employees, some employers who decide to keep them, so these employees should just thank God that I did not send you to the labor market?
And they're doing that at a very high cost.
Or probably it's not a matter of when, not if.
Something like that. Something like that. And we don't pray that the way will come. Let them keep them. The families have to survive.
All right. Very quickly now, our time is fast spent. Something which most Nigerians have described as funny happened over the weekend. We saw a video where former President Olusegun Obasanjo at a function got angry with some traditional monarchs for not standing up to greet him, and during his speech, he commanded them to get up, to stand on their feet, to greet him, and it has brought a lot of knocks on him. And as it reads here on the front page of Nigerian Tribune, more knocks for Obasanjo over humiliation of traditional rulers. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, when you know the man in question, you will not be surprised. He's a soldier. And those of us who were involved in legislative aid services during his reign as the president and commander-in-chief, we knew very much how much he humiliated the National Assembly. He castigated them at every forum. He made sure that they never escaped. He saw the National Assembly as an appendage that's supposed not to be. He was looking at the military mindset where decrees are churned out and then it is obeyed. So he gets irritated when National Assembly wants the procedure to go through, and he felt sometimes, can't we do without them? Somehow, I'll tell you, this fight with Bola Tinubu as governor of Lagos during the problem of creating
the LCDs,
he lost because he didn't want to take the legislative, or he never knew that he should have gone back to National Assembly to take certain legislative course that would make this position he is advancing to stand. So when is it the Uwu of a Wu, the Olowu, you know, I was watching him and say they have restored his general regalia, you know. So when he came, all the Oba should know that the man of that title, general, has landed, but quite uncivil, quite uncivilized way of handling the leaders, the traditional leaders. Yeah, but that's Obasanjo for you.
And then I saw where his a post this morning where his wife was apologizing to the Yoruba monarchs with regards to what the husband did.
Yeah,
but do you actually
they didn't say he apologized.
No, not he apologized.
Yeah,
the wife apologized. So that's what I want to ask you. You actually
be wrong.
So you don't see him apologizing?
No, he's a general, and he's very conscious of that. Please, he's so conscious of his general status. You know.
Then so it means the Yoruba monarchs should just move on.
He's better.
Yeah, they should.
I will be surprised if the Obasanjo I know comes out tomorrow to say sorry.
Then he would have to contend with the trolls, the backlash, and the knocks. You know, like they say in Yoruba, say Dada cannot fight, but Dada has someone that can fight for him. The monarchs cannot contend with him, but they have the citizenry that will be ready for the knocks for them. So it's a win-win for both sides.
Well, that's if he cares, the man is in his world and he enjoys everything that he does.
Thank you so much, Obadiah. It's always a pleasure having this talk with you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much once again for your time.